Where Winds Meet just dropped part 2 of the new Imperial Palace update, which has brought us a new map, seasons, new open world activities, new boss fights, plus a lot more. Where Winds Meet has already been available on PC, PS5, and mobile, but if you were watching the Xbox game showcase, you probably saw that Where Winds Meet is finally available on Xbox as well. You can now play on an Xbox Series X or S, Xbox on PC, or through the Xbox Cloud. If you have already played on another platform, you can play on Xbox with the same account and keep your progress. You don't need to start over. They make it pretty easy to play between different platforms since it's free to play. So yeah, definitely give it a try by using my link down in the description. If you haven't played Where Winds Meet in a little while now, they have brought quite a few updates to the game already, but you don't have to play those before you can start the Imperial Palace. Luckily, you can just jump right in. Well, you will have to be at least level 32 and finish the new Arrival to Kai Feng quest, but that is pretty early on. If you look at the map, you'll find the Imperial Palace with a gold icon, but before you can fast travel there, it'll have you start the Throne and Tempest quest, which takes you over to the Imperial Palace's new map. And this is obviously the biggest part of the update. You get an entirely new map which comes with loads of new stuff to do. The Imperial Palace of Kai Feng is gigantic. It's the second largest area in the game, with Kai Feng City itself being the only thing bigger than it, spanning over 1 million square meters, and it's not just empty space. It's got more than 3,000 NPCs, with about 300 of them being fully interactive and can react in real time to what you do. You can change the season within the Imperial Palace, and it's one of the coolest details that you might have not even known existed if you happen to skip anything here, because if you don't know how to change seasons, you need to first complete the Lost Chapter quest called Grand Nuo Ritual, where you'll then be able to open up your map and see the option to change seasons up at the top left of the screen. Just click on seasons and you have two options there. One is fair, which is like spring/summer, and the other is winter. And it's not just a simple visual change, but the world itself becomes a lot different. It becomes covered in snow, the rivers freeze up, you get different open world activities in the winter like ice sculptures, snowball fights, paper cutting, lighting lanterns, and there's even more. The things you can do is completely different depending on the season. In the warmer seasons is where you can do a bunch of other exclusive activities like catching crickets. I was just wandering around and exploring the little Jade Pond area, caught a few crickets, not realizing until later on that you can actually use these guys in the new cricket fighting arena, like their little fighting bowl. The crickets here in the Imperial Palace come in varying colors, and they're not just for looks, they each have their own element that is strong or weak to another, so when you're preparing for a fight, you'll want to make sure that you've got a cricket that is strong against the enemy's cricket. There's a clear element counter chart here that you can see on the screen before the fight starts. Metal beats wood, wood beats earth, and so on. There's no need to memorize it. And resources reset every week, so I've just been hitting every patch of grass to look for more of these guys every time it refreshes to try and catch the strongest crickets. You can unlock this really fun slapping minigame after completing the Palm Gust quest, which you can find just sitting on the map. The rules are pretty simple, just don't get slapped. So you have to keep your eye on the opposing NPC's hand and dodge or counter when they go to hit you. You and the opponents can both feint slap to trick each other into wasting stamina on a dodge or counter, and it's actually pretty fun. I recommend always feinting a couple of times when it's your turn and just wait a second or two in between feints, which usually gets them to dodge, and just do that until they're low on stamina to open them up for a slap. There are various opponents across the map, each ranging in different difficulties, with the higher difficulties requiring higher levels of strength. You can invest into the slapping game talents in order to increase your strength level for this slapping game, which will allow you to play those harder difficulties, but to unlock these talents you will need the Bone and Brawn powder. If you don't know how to get the Bone and Brawn powder, you get it from the Imperial Palace chests. Any chest you open in the Imperial Palace should pretty much give you this resource. You can actually sit on the Imperial throne, and even if it looks like nobody's watching you, you will be caught, and you'll be taken to jail thanks to a bird. But you do at least get an achievement for doing this, as long as you do get caught and go to jail for it. If you want to try it out, the Imperial throne is found over at the Imperial Palace, which is like the southern end of the map in the center. It's the biggest building in the Imperial Palace. If you come up to the northwestern corner of the rear garden, and I guess the corner of the Imperial Palace map in general, inside of this building you will find the Imperial Decree, and after speaking to the NPC nearby, you can actually open it up and actually make some decisions within the Imperial Court. People are basically asking for help or needing something, and you can give them an answer on if they get it or not. What's kind of funny is you can just write no to everyone's request and get an S rank every single time. That's actually probably the easiest way to pass this with a perfect score. Over at the Fooning Hall, in the outside area between the two northernmost buildings, you'll find a couple of dogs digging around here, and if you interact with them a couple of times, you will turn into a little dog yourself. It's really cool, and if you explore around the area, you'll find a couple of different places that you can go that you normally couldn't and don't have access to, like the hidden entrance to the Emperor's little underground basement. Don't forget to collect everything here while you're walking around as the dog, but if you head upstairs, normally you're not allowed inside of this building at all, but you'll find a woman who gives you an exploration quest leading to the Emperor's bedroom within the same building. It's a pretty short little quest, but it's pretty dang cool. There are some new Jianghu Legacy quests that I thought were pretty cool as well. The new stories were nice, but I just really like how many different ways that these give you to play. Like 1 minute you're playing with the side-scrolling type of camera, and the next you're playing in like an isometric game. You've also got a bunch of other open world activities going on in the Imperial Palace, like incense, which you can ignite with fire to earn yourself some golden echoes and exploration points, the Rat King that you can follow around to find his secret stash, the Imperial Wardens that you can use celestial seas on, which you'll find attached to some of the doors within the Imperial Palace. These make up lock boxes that you can find lying around where your goal is to get both halves of the circle to the center, one at a time. You click and drag on one side, click and rotate the lock, and just repeat that for both sides until they are in the center, which will unlock the makeup box. Plus, there's a lot more of the open world activities within the game and things that you can do within the Imperial Palace that I haven't even mentioned. The Imperial Palace updates also bring 4 new boss fights to Where Winds Meet, and every one of them are pretty dang awesome. The world boss named the Blackclad, which is probably one of the most unique boss fights I've played in the game so far, because you're just going rooftop to rooftop, and the boss fight just kind of takes place over the entire palace map. The cinematics are cool, the music's awesome, she's got some really awesome moves. I loved pretty much everything in this boss fight. It might just feel like a pretty difficult fight though. The Lone Tyrant is basically a younger version of Zhao Kuan-Yin, reimagined as this super strong, like, just the coolest dude in the game in my opinion. You show up, he immediately starts just aura farming, sucking all of the aura out of the room, and if you look behind him when the actual boss fight starts, his dragon just hangs around him in the background, and it's not just stagnant, it actually moves around the arena while the boss just absolutely destroys you with his staff. I finally thought I beat him just to realize, oh yeah, there's probably a phase 2, and there is. The dude just goes full on hand-to-hand combat mode, while the dragon actually gets into the fight too, so they're just double teaming the crap out of you. This was the hardest fight in the game for me so far. But this update also brings the darkest, most brutal boss fight of them all, the Cat Emperor. I love this boss fight, and I love how they have just huge contrasts between like everything in this game. You've got that Blackclad boss, the Lone Tyrant that I just talked about, and if you go over to the north end of the map and start up the Grand Carp exploration quest, you get the complete opposite energy from the Cat Emperor. It's silly, but it's fun. And then you also have the Gilded Lament. She's another really cool boss. She's got the cracked face and all that. And you can find this boss fight while exploring over at the Forbidden Palace when you're drawn over to the sound of someone crying up a storm, and she goes ahead and sucks you into another world. All in all, it's a lot of fun. I think I've had even more fun playing through both parts of the Imperial Palace update than I did the rest of the game, and I mean, the rest of the game is a lot of fun. The Imperial Palace just feels even better. The boss fights, all of the open world activities and things to do, there's lots of things to find. The story was interesting. And I mean, I can't wait to see what's next, because this game is always updating. That is pretty much it. Leave a like and subscribe for more videos. Thank you to Where Winds Meet for sponsoring the video. Where Winds Meet is available on PC, PS5, mobile, and now Xbox, and it's completely free to play, so totally give it a try by clicking on the link down in the description.